Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our anti-heroes are moving further into the Red Wolf's den. Quinny used a ballista against his enemies. Echo used her moonbeam to eliminate foes trying to escape. And the Forsaken hurled Molotov cocktails until no one was left alive. But what will happen when they face Zog and the rest of his gang underground? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons!
Dum-Dums, you are heading deeper into the lair of Zog the Goblin Shredder, the red werewolf from the Alpha Gumbo that Juniper's been infected with for some time now.
Alpha Gumbo.
Alpha Gumbo. Now, previously you'd mentioned that you were worried that any amount of surprise or any element of surprise, rather, had been blown. But as you make your way down this tunnel, which again has a deep enough kind of stream going through it that you can take boats, you start to hear the sound of loud machines. So loud, in fact, that you're pretty sure your cover has been maintained.
Oh, good. And we wolf-stanked ourselves. So
and you wolf-stanked yourselves. Yeah. There's a good amount of wolf stank going around. So I assume as soon as you don't see, ravening hordes of werewolves running down the way at you screaming, you're dropping into stealth?
Yeah.
Okay, so Quinny, you'd mentioned wanting to scout ahead a bit. Can you go ahead and roll me a stealth check at advantage because of the sound?
2 jack die, but it was very low also. We'll take the 7.
92.
22.
Close enough. So Quinny, you head out ahead of, Big, Loud, and Clanky, and
I sound like the machines. It's like it really is. You were walking along with that sound, and it just gets louder and blends.
Yeah. You get surround sound as you go. And Echo, you're pretty quiet as well. Mm-hmm. Would you be scouting ahead with Quinny, or would you be hanging back with the Forsaken?
Echo would let Quinny do the scouting ahead, and Echo would hang back just to make sure that Clanky here hasn't drawn attention. Perhaps sure. if there are hidden like side entrances that we're passing, just to keep an eye out for anything else coming up behind them, beside them.
Okay, great. So yeah, that works. Quinny, you make your way forward, sort of crouching, and the mouth of this waterway opens up into a much larger cavern. There are enough natural craggy rock stuff to kind of pop in and crouch and kind of take a look around. And before you see what almost looks to be a massive loading dock. So there's there's sort of a little lagoon almost where boats can come in, and to the left and right of it, you can identify the sound of the machinery. And sorry, when I say machinery, it's not like running on power or anything, just like clanking and creaking of metal and chains rattling.
To
and all
me,
that sort of
it sounds like like the birthplace of the Urukai at Saruman's.
Yeah, close
like
to
with
that
music.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, very, very like industrial.
That's what comes to mind for me is the music.
Yes.
Yeah, less cool than that, but
there's no
in the
music
ballpark.
to it.
Yes,
It's just
exactly.
the chunk chunks.
Yeah, and there's no just like people running in straight lines directly at the camera.
Hope Halfling's not on the
So
menu.
you walk
Thank
in,
God.
you see Quinny, as you look into this massive, high-ceilinged cavern that's clearly under the hill. To your left and right are massive boat. You can think of this as they're basically boat hangars.
Okay.
You can think of this a little bit like at a cottage where people stack canoes, or if you go to like a summer camp, they stack boats. So it's a little bit like that, except that they're on metal pulleys. So I guess closer to like a marina-sized thing, because these aren't small boats necessarily. Some of them, there's a rack of small boats for the thing, but also some bigger ones for not necessarily open ocean transport, but definitely for longer voyages. And they're operated by like massive chains, massive cranks that can kind of rotate which boat is ready for launch. So there's one of those to either side. So to your left and right. And again, just inside of that, so that there's the two tall racks with kind of the prow of the boat facing you. So obviously pointing at the water for easy launch. Next to that are two racks of smaller boats, much better than what you've seen the Rivington Rats use, but definitely of that kind of size and scale. So if you're going to do any like quiet, sneaky work out on the water, or you're just moving things around Baldur's Gate, these are nice like gondola or single paddle kind of kind of rowboats, canoe situations. Beyond that, you see two sort of behind those two, the two racks of boats. You see massive industrial warehouse shelving, essentially, that's been constructed. They're not fully. It's not packed to the gills or anything, but it looks a little bit like, to borrow a modern thing, it feels like a fulfillment warehouse shelf. So boxes and crates can be placed on it to be moved into the boats. And you see some things kind of packed and ready to go. The noise you're hearing is you see a couple of bulked up, similar to the butchers you saw earlier. One of them in hybrid will form, pulling the chains to kind of pull a boat back up that seems to have just been finished getting repaired. You see they've got buckets and repair materials. So they're just kind of placing it back on it. Beyond that, your view is obscured a bit by all these boats, but further in, you can see peering between the boats a bit, even at distance. And you've got obviously your double sight, so you can see it's lit, but you can kind of even see through shadow.
Okay.
On the right side is more cargo shelving. So it's just cargo shelving kind of all the way to the right. On the left side of the cavern, looking in, you can see 3 sets of tracks leading to just a dead end on the wall, but right up to it. So it doesn't stop in front of it. The tracks lead kind of directly to the wall itself. And carts being kind of brought in and then moved on a circular junction to line them up with these 3 tracks.
Okay. If I am sufficiently hidden,
Yep.
I think I just want to take a beat and watch these people work and
Sure.
get a better sense of what it is they're up to. It looks like they're loading. Well, I'll ask, does it look like they're loading boats with whatever they're pulling along in these mine carts?
No. Oddly enough, the carts seem to be getting lined up for these 3 sets of tracks that lead directly into the wall.
Into the wall, and it just looks like a wall, like rails go to the wall, and I can't pierce that veil with my Eye of True Sight. It's just a wall as far as I can tell.
Is Eye of True Sight just always on, or is that a thing you have to trigger?
I think it's got charges from what I remember, but I could be wrong.
That's the Medallion of Thought. Eye of True Sight we've always been a little Calvin ball with, so I'll let you make that call if you like. I usually just say I'd like to use it, and we go with that.
Because it's kept under the eye patch normally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So it should. Part of the reason we've been playing so Calvin Ball E with it is you usually use it once per.
That's true.
Per arc. So it has 3 charges. So yes, if you want to use it, you can click it on. 3 charges per day. Every time you
second
have
charge then being used here.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we fall back to 200 coppers.
Quinny, using
200 charges.
using the Eye of True Sight, you don't see illusionary walls. What you do see are the etchings and kind of astral glowing of portals inscribed on these walls.
So they're portals that are not turned on right now.
No.
They're not that. My understanding of the information you provided me then is that this wall is not a fake wall. It's just where portals would open and close.
Correct.
And if I'm looking at a wall and nothing else, the portals are closed right now.
They are closed, but you can see the glowing inscription of the portal. You would understand, I think, from your time just generally around that the Raven Gates act very much as kind of vaguely Stargatey, step through one place to another, but a lot of portal. I was going to say technology. It's not technology. A lot of portal systems are rigged almost as a video game waypoint. So, if you've got the correct glyphs and runes, you can teleport to that receiving portal. Not all receiving portals are two-way things, though. So, what you're looking at is a much less sophisticated version of what you've seen in the Raven Gates, but also one that a wizard could just etch on a wall, which has a distinct advantage over ancient arcane technology that no one understands. So, what you're looking at is portals that are clearly linked to somewhere, but are currently closed.
And they're not open channels. They are.
You're not sure.
Okay.
But just what you would know from so for example, an easy way to get around Faerun is in a lot of major cities, if you go to their temple or their city hall or the castle, they'll have a portal to another place that is linked specifically to that place. So it's not like if you hop in, you can choose any waypoint on the map and return. It's just if you're going to be going back and forth between, I don't know, Cormyr and Waterdeep, you're not going to Lord of the Rings it every time and have epic vistas of you running over hills. You're just going to step in and bleep bloop to where you need to go. So a lot of wizards do this to just get around. But again, it's an expensive magical ritual that very few people understand, and you often need the help of a wizard to make. So anyway, so that's what you can see from here. Beyond all of this, at the far north end of the cavern, there's a wide, at this point it's not water anymore, it's like a wide earthen path that leads deeper into the caves. And you can see that it is guarded by 2 pairs of guards in hybrid form, just standing at attention with pole arms.
2 pairs, meaning 4 guards total?
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep, you're seeing double, 4 crusties.
Okay, and they're in a hybrid form, so there are wolf features there?
Yeah, they're wolfed up a bit.
Wolfed up,
so,
they have tails and stuff?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to exploit that.
Okay, yeah.
So you can also walk that back if you don't want to.
No, I mean they're not. Yeah, they can have tails. That's
Okay.
fine. When I think of a werewolf, I think it has a tail, so
Okay.
that's fine. They're just not in like I'm on the ground, wolf form. They're
Got
in
it.
like standy.
They're in a classic
Yeah.
universal monster wolf.
That's it.
form.
Yeah. Teen wolfing it, so they can still
Okay.
play basketball and change between Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman at will.
Right, okay.
That's their
Michael
power.
J. Bateman
Yes.
and Jason Fox. Those are the 2 to the left.
Oh.
We'll figure out the ones on the right.
Do we even need to? Those are the heroes now. Those guys in loose boots. That's our spin-off show.
Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing. And to your question of the mine carts, you do see mine carts coming in from basically a gap in the wall. So they are coming in from elsewhere. There are also just carts being wheeled in through that big central gap. So you said you wanted to sit and observe for a bit.
I did.
Yeah. So can you roll me perception, please?
11.
11. Okay.
Straight down the middle.
Straight down the middle. Yeah. Okay. So what you can see are again, just giving it a few minutes, you're just seeing people kind of go about their business. So the wolves who finished patching the boat are packing up their repair kit for the boat and complaining loudly. So we'll talk about them in a second. Beyond that, of the 3 portals, so if we're labeling them from north to south, so from furthest to you to closest to you, 1, 2, 3, 3 being closest to you, there is there's a magical flash as the portal ignites, and a cart comes rolling through, piled high with what looks to be bodies wrapped in some kind of burlap. And a wolf is pulling them in and just having a real time with the smell, because unfortunately, if you're going to hybrid yourself up a little bit, those keen senses kick in. So there's a real, like the wolf does a full like, oh, these are ripe, as he pulls the cart in and starts dragging it towards the junction point to turn it and send it deeper in. Similarly, you see a flash of light at portal number 2 as a minecart packed with crates gets wheeled through it. So they do the classic Harry Potter train platform thing where they start running the cart at the wall, portal clicks on, and they just let the cart go and it wheels through to wherever it's off to. You see a cart get wheeled in from the north to just add to kind of the fulfillment racks. So just, a couple wolves haul some crates up onto it and then disappear back up the way. And the wolves closest to you are mid conversation, and one of them has paste stuck on his hairy wolf arms from doing the work, and he just says, "Oh, I hate when we have to do the boat work. I don't mind being a work wolf, but I hate when it gets stuck in my fur like this. And then if you transform back, it doesn't help; it just gets stuck." And the other wolf who didn't transform and is just packing up supplies. Says, "Well, I'd take this over, any of the other jobs right now. I gotta tell you, man, I would take paste in my fur over gills any day. That was not a fun time. I'm very glad to be back doing the proper work, Plus, just those fucking hostages are so fucking annoying. I don't know why." I don't know why Zog won't let us just, and he does a really weird jaw-chomping thing. His friend turns around, puts a pasty hand on his shoulder and says, "Hey, bud, you're doing it again. You're doing it again." He goes, "Oh, sorry. It's weird. It just kind of stays in you for a bit." Anyway, look, just be grateful all we're doing is patching boats today, okay? There's worse jobs. And his friend kind of nods and says, yeah, I just still hate the paste. And they head north east to go kind of help with the unloading the boxes onto the racks.
Okay.
And sorry, the only other piece you're seeing is amongst the carts. Now that you've seen 2 portals click on and off, you can see a figure wearing a just like almost a Grecian tunic, so just kind of to upper thigh. Still looks very wizardly, but is clearly built for like movement. With kind of like heavy gauntlets on their arms and curled horns coming off the top of their head, their hair pulled back in a ponytail. You can see their glowing red eyes from here. Otherwise, a kind of bored expression as a tiefling moves amongst the carts, seemingly operating the portals.
Okay.
There's like a lot of clipboard checking and then, board hand wave at a portal, which will open and shut.
These bodies that came through wrapped, I mean, there's only one other place that I've seen someone wrapping bodies in Baldur's Gate. Does it look like similar handiwork?
Sure does.
Oh, we don't like that. Okay. Then I had better come back and fill the team in before I do anything else. I have an idea to kind of maybe get a little bit of fighting done without us needing to be there. Mm-hmm. So I have Mage Hand as a cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Of those 4 wolfmen, the
guards,
the 2 pairs of guards, how far into the room would I have to get before I was 30 feet from them so I could cast Mage Hand on one and just like pull its tail, just squeeze and pull that tail and then dispel Mage Hand? Because all I've seen from wolf people or people who have taken the potions is they are dumb and they are aggressive is like the 2 big things. So I'm just trying to see if I can maybe stir some trouble up as well.
Okay. So the room is 120 deep.
So I'd have to get more
so you'd
than
have to
halfway.
like sneak in, but there are a lot of shelves and there's a lot of noise. So your cover is pretty decent. And as we established from the previous room, the gate is really meant to stop intruders. And that's not to say there aren't defenses here, but it really is kind of like we trap the shit out of the only way in so that we can just get about our business further in.
Okay. Then I will come back. I won't cause any chaos yet. I want to talk to everyone. I'll come back. And once I'm sure that the din of all that work and we're far enough into the tunnel,
away,
I'll bring you all up to speed on everything that I saw, present my theory on the...
First, let me make sure I understand the room you described. It sounds like there's obviously the stream down the center. And then to the right is all racks and the 2 boat guys.
Yeah.
And then to the left are the paths through the portals.
The rails, yeah.
To clarify, stream ends.
Yeah.
Once you come in, there's like a lagoon.
Great. Good work, Quinny. Good explanation.
2 racks of boats to the left and right as you enter. So they flank the room.
Got it.
Big racks of boats with their own loading rack behind them.
And they're against the lagoon side. So they're on the inside of things?
Yeah, so literally if you were to walk in on the south side, you look to your left, look to your right, 2 towers of boats.
Great.
Racks behind those boats facing you. Beyond that, racks not facing you, facing the wall. To the right is all...
That's all warehouse storage.
Warehouse storage. To the left is the cart
portal,
tracks.
the portal thing. Yeah, so I just wanted to confirm where the dudes are in that. So we got 2 repair guys on the right side and the 4 guards on the left. The 2
repair guys have finished their work and have returned to sort of northeast corner to just like help. A cart came in to load those shelves.
So everybody's on cart side right now.
There's no one on boat side right now.
Great.
So
the
south is completely clear. What you have are you've got a wolf carrying bodies up the track. You have another wolf who just released crates through the second portal. Portal 1 is inactive. There's a tiefling by those. And then you got a fuck ton of wolves up at the mouth of the thing. That said, based on the kind of work you're seeing, some of these guys seem to be doing temporary jobs.
They wander in and out. Okay, so from what I understand, right now it's 8 wolves and a tiefling, but some of them are doing work and may leave the room or more could come in.
Yeah. They talked about having different kinds of duties, so it looks like they cycle through different jobs. So there could be people coming in to relieve these ones, and we keep the same number of enemies, or more, or they leave and there's less. I can't be sure.
All right. I comprehend the scene. Tell me your plan.
Well, I was thinking, it's a lot of wolves to take on head on.
Correct.
Took a bit of a beating back there, but so I was thinking, first of all, those bodies, they're wrapped up in the same way that the bodies are prepared at that funeral home. We didn't know that.
The ass store. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw someone wrapping body. I didn't learn a name. I didn't care. I was Mr. Ass Cheeks.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that they didn't like the Dead 3.
Anti the Dead 3, from what I can remember.
Well, they're pro-Zog, apparently.
Fuck!
Yeah.
I knew I needed to burn that place to the ground.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what they're doing with the bodies, but they're being carried further in these mine carts. There's the portals and stuff like that. There's that tiefling who is controlling the portals.
Yes, we need to kill the tiefling.
Or keep alive to question or to talk about portals. You don't like that. I can look at you and you don't want to do that.
I don't know what magic they know, and they can summon theoretically allies through the portals.
Well,
Yeah.
we know how powerful Alan had to be to do portal stuff, and this tiefling, he says, doing it just like willy-nilly.
It seemed pretty effortless and boring to him, yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we have a wolf problem and a tiefling problem.
So, yeah, I was thinking everyone I've ever met who is a werewolf or has dranken, wolf cola has been super aggressive and kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we
Great.
could get them to turn on each other by just starting to brawl.
Just yanking tails. I
Yanking
think.
tail, using mage hand maybe to flick a nutsack. I don't know, but something like that.
All right, so we're saying you can go around to the right and hide out amongst the stacks.
Yeah.
Do your nutsack attack, etc.
Yeah, and I think we
The
shouldn't...
balls, the tail, the grundle.
That whole area.
The unholy trinity.
The Dead 3.
The dark 3.
I think we shouldn't let that...
Attack the entire underworld.
The whole thing, the whole package.
The dark universe.
Jesus.
Russell Crowe's there.
Yeah, Mr. Hyde.
You were making all the way down.
I don't think we should sit on this diversion too long, though.
I think we should move pretty quickly.
As soon as I start that brawl, hopefully I start a brawl, you two go for the tiefling then.
That makes sense. We can hide by the mouth of the cave, not enter, until we hear commotion. The same plan as before, when nothing went wrong.
Yeah, I love that plan. From the mouth of this cave to the tiefling, is that something that I believe my friends can
Can you
do?
ballpark that distance?
Yeah, that'd be about
Quinny?
60 feet.
Oh, okay, so that's dash, and then they're there, and they're like, haha, and then... but no, they got range stuff too. That's true.
And again, there is a lot of shit between this is literally like a Metal Gear Solid 1 map's
yeah.
worth of things.
Clutter. Yeah.
Clutter and blind corners and other things.
So the sight lines are short.
Yep.
We'll say.
Yep. So
Okay.
if you are trying to sneak, and again, this is weirdly a situation where the Forsaken wouldn't be the worst at sneaking because the sound of him moving is the same as the sound of
Right.
everything else. And there's a lot. Also, like, the portals flash when they pop up. So you've observed. Actually, roll me insight. Oh, you know what? This is a bestiary thing, so you can have advantage.
Oh, great. I'll take the 16. And you say insight?
Insight, yeah.
I think it's 0. Yeah, 16.
Okay, you remember from the bestiary and also from just observing, was it Death Wolf? Mm-hmm. That wolves have like heightened senses. So the fact that everyone here is in a kind of somewhat poorly lit cavern, and there are rapid flashes of light and a bunch of corpses being moved.
Or they're
like-
covered in paste.
Yeah, and
Everyone's
I mean, the pace is a
irritated and on edge.
real-
I'm going to flick such a nutsack, and it's just going to go off.
Yeah, there's just it's good. It's prime sneaking, and I guess
Of the
nutsack
dead 3,
flicking.
he's going for the balls.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I understand. Jesus, Bane.
Oh, okay, yeah. Merkel.
Yeah.
That's the werewolf term for a grundle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to go about doing this?
that connects our tails and our assholes? Isn't Merkel the flesh between that?
That's the conversation that's happening.
From our bait to our balls.
Yeah, when it gets cold, the voice gets higher.
Never pulling a werewolf's Merkel. They don't
Bane
like that.
rises.
So says I, Jason Fox.
All right, how are you doing this?
The proposed plan sounds good to me. That's been Quinny and the Forsaken just kind of chatting here, just checking in with Echo. Like, does that sound good? Are you good to rush this tiefling with the Forsaken as soon as the diversion pops off?
Yeah, should I throw up maybe some light of the moon?
I'll let you. I think this is going to be another thing of just like in the moment we're going to have to figure out what's appropriate. But I would say if you don't want to question this guy because you're not sure what magic he's going to do, I'll say hit him and hit him hard.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Light of the Moon, or remember, if you're fighting the wolves, use the gore blade, because it's covered in silver.
I can put the light of the moon up, and then I can just have the light of the moon hang out, and then do stabbing too.
That sounds delightful.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Move on up with me. I'll tell you where to stop, and then I'll go deeper in.
Excellent.
All right, I need stealth advantage from all three of you, please.
15.
34.
16.
All right, you all move safely up into probably between the boats and the loading rack for the boats, which gets you about 30.
On which side?
Which side would you like? Oh, wait, you were
We're
after
on
the tiefling,
tiefling
so you're on
side,
the
yeah.
We're on
left side.
tiefling
Yep.
side. Okay, so we're moving up
Yep.
that way. Gotcha.
So you're 30 feet in. You're closest to portal number 3, which you've determined leads
Furthest
to
from
Candu
back wall, so
Hallows
closest
funeral
guys.
arrangements. Yeah, furthest from the entrance. The wolf is waiting for that junction to turn back towards him. So he's wheeled his cart up, but he's waiting for the big circle junction to actually get it on. There's just a bit of a traffic jam with some of the other wolves. So he is standing there. They're looking away from you. The tiefling is just looking at the clipboard, tapping it aggressively, not to any of the wolves, just in a thoughtful kind of looking over your work order for the rest of the day. There's a crash from the northeast as one of the boxes falls off the racks, and you hear some classic construction guy. Hey, come on.
Hey, oh.
Yeah, just a lot of yelled exclamation.
Yelled
What
by
are you
3 other
doing?
wolves nearby.
Yeah. There's just the tiefling rolls his eyes.
Maron. Yeah.
There's some general yelling from over there as well. As
Gone, yeah.
the breaking of glass bottles. Yep. That's the scene you
Okay.
see.
Wordlessly, I motion stop. This is your spot. Hide. And then I will proceed further in along the wall. I think where there are no workers, if I'm able to make that. Or we're already on the left side.
Yes, you have to cross the big space to do that.
So then I will just try and sneak past the people working here.
Okay, you could go up onto these racks. There is room between the rack and the ceiling. They're pretty tall. So if you want to go up, you could do that.
Yeah, sure. I'll go up. Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, roll stealth, please. Not to see if you fail. I'm going to be counter rolling against you. My keen senses. So keen.
22?
Okay. Let's check the work wolves. That might not do. Wolves. You had 22?
I did.
I match your 22.
Ooh,
So
And as the rhyme says, if it
Roll.
meets it, I escape.
roll a
Meets it, eats it. Quinny story.
Can you roll a dex save, please?
20.
20. Okay. So you throw yourself to as soon as you kind of catch someone looking up, you just throw yourself down. Because of the angle, they can't quite see you. But there is a bit of one of them says, "Is there something up there? I think there might be. Hey, we should hang on. I'm gonna go check. Last thing we need are rats."
I cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
Other side of the room. Mimic the sound of that crate falling.
Crate smashes and they just all look over at the
I go.
crate, and then there's another hey, that one wasn't us. So you book it across. Okay, so now you are on the rack closest to the werewolf guards at the north end of the building. I assume now you're down. You're not doing
Yes.
sneaky boy. All right, so you're within range of them.
All right. As beloved PlayStation and N64 platforming character Gex says, it's tail time.
We give you a point of inspiration for a Gex reference.
Jesus.
I'm not kidding.
That's a second point of inspiration. Holy moly. I rolled. What am I rolling? I rolled a 10 plus
You're
something
mage
asking for.
handing
Yeah.
one of their tails.
Yeah.
I don't know if you even need to roll for that necessarily.
Do you want there to be any element of them spotting the mage hand before it gets...
Sure, maybe give me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
We'll just count that as what this is.
Sleight of mage hand is a 25.
Okay, let me see what they do. Okay, they fail to see it.
Okay.
There's enough, like, I think, low-lying mist and other things if it hits the ground.
I cast it low to the ground, and I have it like Thing from Adam's
Sure.
Family over.
Nice.
So it's just a low little profile on the hand.
Great. Okay, so it pops up behind Jason Fox. Are you pulling tail or...
I mean, I said
Flicking
tail time, but it would be
nutsack.
funny to flick the nutsack, but I think I will pull the tail, yeah.
Okay, you so the hand...
Just yank and then dispel the mage hand.
Sure,
It's gone.
okay. And the wolf just goes, ow, fucking what? And immediately, like, spins around, kind of like pole arm down. And his friend's like, hey, someone fucking with you? He's like, yeah, someone's fucking with me. And they immediately lock eyes with the two guards across them. And let's see.
Yes.
Oh,
Fight amongst yourselves.
the wolves across from them are like, guys, we've been standing over here. Clearly, we did not. But the other guys rolled a 4, and they're just like, "You motherfuckers!"
Great.
And just they're not going for kills, but to the earlier weird wolf nonsense, it's just like the two who've been fucked with just pull like straight arm, pole arm the guys against the wall, and they're just roughing them up a bit.
I've heard their voices now. Can I cast Minor Illusion again to have the cooler headed ones make it sound like one of them says, "I'm going to kill you"?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll roll. Yeah, I didn't roll great on. Yeah, neither of them rolled great. So you're gonna kill him. And his partner goes, well, I guess it's on then. Just starts throwing sucker punches. The guy whose
thank
voice
goodness.
said things is just like, what? So they start brawling, and
Yes.
immediately there's some like applause and stuff from the other wolves. They're pretty bored. No one wants to be a work wolf. You don't sign up for like evil werewolf duty to like move boxes
You go
and
beast
shit.
mode to become a beast of burden.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some applause, and people start to congregate around the mouth of the tunnel. The tiefling just looks up from his clipboard and says, "Gentlemen, we have a schedule. Gentlemen, please. Oh, wolves. And just like starts tapping his forehead and says, always with the wolf aggression. Please, gentlemen, schedule. And
Forsaken just looks over to Murder Child, like raised eyebrows, like,
yeah, and the one werewolf who's got the cart just smiles. Says, "Finally, it's Tim's turn," and he runs and starts cranking the spinny junction box so he can move his cart. But yes, the tiefling is frustrated and distracted.
great. And we are how far from the tiefling?
30 feet.
Forsaken looks to Murder Child and points to his hammer and then does little question shruggies. And he goes, just finger pause for a second. And he mimes out a hand throwing something forwards and fire coming up with his fingers out of the ground. The hand shruggies. Question mark?
Echo kind of narrows her eyes, not entirely sure, and then like lifts her hands up like she does for moonbeam, and then kind of does the shrug.
And Forsaken taps a temple knowingly and mimes throwing his flame hands. Thumbs up.
And then Echo points at herself and the hands up, and then points at him and the hands coming up from the bottom with the flames.
Yeah.
And then like between the two, like
Gesturing back and
gesturing
forth.
back and
Night the
forth.
Roxbury
Yeah,
style.
yeah, yeah,
You, me, you, you, me, you, me, you.
He gives Forsaken gives thumbs
Echo
up.
gives thumbs up.
And then he gives 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger.
What he is like, did
and
they leave?
Bursts up and just yells, atheism!
There we go.
And
Please protect Echo.
so a 10-foot wide, 40-foot high column of flame appears, right, just with black atheistic flames from below the tiefling.
Okay.
I need the tiefling to roll me a dexterity saving throw, DC 18.
Is it fire damage, or is that just the flavor that the Forsaken gives it?
It is fire and radiant damage, but it's darker because it's Forsaken.
Right, okay.
Forsaken flames.
Okay. Glyph. Nope.
Okay.
I rolled a 5. His dex is not bad, but it's not that good.
That's 15 fire damage.
Okay.
And 16 radiant damage for a total of 31 damage.
Yeah, he just bursts into flame, as does... Oh, I should actually... what was the DC on that?
DC was 18.
18. You get Tim the cart wolf as well.
Great. He takes the same thing, 31 damage.
Yeah, so they're both screaming as atheistic flame surrounds them.
Well, they better make a Constitution save.
so many
DC
saves.
16.
Well, that's a nat 1 on the... that one on the tiefling, who as soon as the fire hits him, just like heaves and drops to his knees. And then moonbeam comes down on him.
Yeah.
Hitting him from the unholy 3 from the top.
Oh, you know what? This is what
I'm
we'll
going
do.
to cast this at level 3.
We'll
too.
say the crit fail is that he, as he panics on fire, he just grabs
my
Tim the
God.
werewolf for support, but it means that Tim fails his save as well because he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
pulled it back.
So you can barely
Tim the
see
Wolfman
it.
Taylor.
Yeah.
It's like in the light, with the light of the flames, you can barely see just like this pale spotlight shining down
Sure.
on them.
just grabs
as
him and
they
Tim's not
take-
ready for it.
13. So they take 17 points of radiant damage as they burn in ghostly flames.
17?
They
I
both
cast it at level 3.
Nice.
they die
Whoa.
together with Tim going and yeah, there's cries of alarm throughout the room. I was just like, what the fuck was in that cart? And the wolves who were tussling are still tussling, but the rest of the wolves, which are the 2 who were loading boxes, and the one who was cheering on the fight, who had the delivery to portal number 2. So you have 4 wolves fighting each other, so they're not in combat yet. You have 1 wolf at the north and 2 wolves to the northeast. Let's roll some initiative.
Yay! Ooh, dirty 20.
11.
Reroll ones. There we go. 16.
Okay. Top of the round is Echo.
Is there a pair of wolves? I want to see if there's a pair of wolves that are within 60 feet of where the tiefling was.
You could move it over to the paste one and the other one who were loading boxes.
Right.
The both boys.
In that case, Echo will kind of she'll use her movement to move behind the racks where the boats are on the left side, or the racks by the boats.
You've got racks. You can
Yeah,
hide
just for some cover.
hide behind some racks. Yep.
And then we'll just do the lift her arms, and again the motion of just like shifting the spotlight, just
Sure. Just burns a line across.
as it lands to encompass
Bottles
those 2
bubble
wolves.
and burst and explode on the shelves as it
cool.
passes over them. Yeah. Okay. And they need con saves.
Yes, DC 16.
Echo's just our group's lighting designer for combat.
Both will pass.
So that was 18 total. So they'll take 9 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Cool. They're just yelling, oh, it burns. And because it's drying up the paste. It's drying up the paste. All right. So good first round. Echo. Next up, we have the swirling melee of wolves. Let's see if they can calm their aggro enough.
Oh, that shake of the head.
Half of them do, but half the people deciding not to fight doesn't end a fight. So the 2 reasonable ones are like,
That
you
triggers
idiots are
attacks
under
of
attack.
opportunity.
And then one just goes, no, you're under attack, and punches him in the jaw. So they keep fighting.
Okay.
The Forsaken thinks those ones should join Death Wolf's pack.
Quinny, you're on top of the racks. You can see the 4 wolves in a swirling melee of fisticuffs. There's the 2 who are under the giant Mr. Bean spotlight, just getting roasted. There's one kind of almost at the base of your rack who is looking back towards Echo and Forsaken, but hasn't moved yet. What do you do?
How high up am I on the storage if I climbed up to the top?
Yeah, I would imagine you're at the top. These are, let's see, the crates are like probably about. The crates are about, what was I thinking, like 4 feet.
Okay.
So there's 3
4 foot
racks.
squared,
So
kind of like
yeah. So
or
if there's 4 racks, 3 levels of that, then you're like 12 feet ish in the air, give or take some
Okay. All right.
stuff.
I'm going to try and push a crate off the edge on top of this wolf.
Okay.
That's below my shelf.
Sure. All right. Give me a athletics, please.
Can I pitch to you that this is fast hands using my bonus action to interact with an object? So I still
sure.
have an action?
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still
Nice.
athletics, so I just want to
Cool.
figure
We'll
out
say,
action
so
economy.
we'll say this is less like just like full shoving it, more like it's safety clasped and other
Yeah.
things. You just quick hand.
I have a crowbar if I can even
Oh,
just
perfect.
like
We'll
wedge
say that.
underneath
Yeah,
it and
that's
just
perfect.
lever it.
Yeah, I like
over.
that. Yeah, yeah. As long as it's not you like Resident Evil statue shoving, then I'm good.
Okay, but so athletics. Oh wow. So -1, I believe. Yeah, so that's a 17 athletics.
Nice.
17. Okay, yeah. So the crate goes over, and he has just enough time to look up and go, huh? And the crate smashes into him, and he like takes it kind of on his shoulder. So it drives him down to one knee. But his skin, you can sort of hear not hissing, but as all the glass breaks inside it, he just kind of looks at his arms, and like his muscles are rapidly expanding, and his skin is turning scaly, but rapidly expanding and cracking, and he's just like, oh fuck, and then he bursts like a grape. As his guts continue to grow and expand, but one should not consume that many
I was going
potions.
to say, do not drink more than one potion. Do not drink any potions.
Yep.
Nice.
Then for my action, this sounds like it's still like just a chaotic scene. I'm going to try and hide again on this top
Yeah,
shelf.
you've got a
I'm
quick
doing sort of similar to our montage of murders. I'm just trying to do Overwatch
Yep.
and make sure my friends are safe.
Sure.
So I'm just going to try and hide again.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
3, 18 to
Yeah,
hide.
that's fine.
Okay.
With fucking Akira monster just like going at it there. There's plenty of distraction. Okay, so that knocks that guy out. Oh shit, it was his turn. Womp womp. Okay, so with him being dead, that drops us to the Forsaken.
So the Forsaken is looking at two guys standing in a moonbeam. They're
Yep.
being melted with paste burning off their arms. I have 4 werewolves who are beating the shit out of each other and a dead person.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got some options.
The Forsaken...
Oh, no.
The Forsaken is like, ah, yes, the pain of your mistakes doth haunt you. Come forth and face me. And he yells, Blender mode! And he just starts spinning around as fast as he can. winging his
Blunder mode?
Blender mode.
Oh, blender
Not
mode.
blunder mode. He's fucking capable. Blunder mode happens by accident. This is blender mode, which is
I
on
had
purpose.
to ask.
So he just starts swinging his hammer as fast as he can and slinging his shield around himself in this terrifying move. And he would like to move to put the moonbeam and those wolves between him and the other wolves, so they have to run through it. And then he just wants to basically do a war haka at the edge of this shield and just hold action to see if anybody comes at him
Yeah.
through the moonbeam, and then he'll fucking beat him one when they arrive.
And this is the Guardians reskinned?
No, this is
Or
a different reskinning.
Oh, okay.
I am reskinning. I mean, Guardians has got a little bit of that. I'm reskinning at this point Shield of Faith.
Shield of
so
Faith,
he's
okay.
spinning so fast that his weapons are so present that his AC goes up by 2.
Got it. Okay. I thought it was they walk in and get shredded by the shield being flung around.
That would make more sense, but I didn't think of that until now.
Okay.
So.
I only thought it because I think you used it way back at the Thiefies, as that was your reskin of Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So just so I'm understanding, you're standing between the brawl
The
and
far side of the
moonbeam.
brawl. So if anybody runs at me from the brawl, they're running through the moonbeam. He's using the moonbeam
I
as
see, I see. Okay,
a defensive
okay, gotcha.
bulwark for himself.
Yeah. Smart.
misunderstood as well. Okay.
Okay, cool. So that brings us to the moonbeam guys.
I think actually, Tom, I think they take damage on their turn.
Oh, okay.
I think I did that damage early because it's when a creature enters the spells area for the first time on a turn or starts
I was
its
going
turn
to say
there.
we've had this discussion before, and I think we agreed that casting it also worked because it felt weird
It
for it
enters
to be
the
slow
area
out.
Yeah, it enters
on
the
a
area,
turn.
yeah.
It's your turn, and they've
Yeah.
entered it because it's there now.
Yeah.
Now it's
okay.
their turn.
Yeah, you're
100%.
good.
Yeah.
I'm still okay. I was second guessing.
No, you're good. You're great.
That's another nat one. Fuck me.
15.
Don't worry, buddy. I spent my spell slots flying to find a daughter. So
So successful.
That's
18 points of searing, radiant,
18
burning
points
damage
of searing, burning,
from
radiant
little
damage.
pale moonlight.
Okay, so with the nat one, I'm gonna say, guy's paste gets sticky enough that he can't get out. He's just like,
no! Oh, buddy.
the other guy's gonna leap clear though, because he
That
doesn't
makes
want to
sense.
like live in this anymore, and is gonna stagger forward, but probably honestly right into the Forsaken.
Great.
Since you're, or no, yeah. Well, let's see which direction he goes out.
Oh, yeah, if he's just trying to get away,
He's
maybe.
just trying to get out. He may
Yeah.
not go all together. So I'm going to use cardinal directions on this D4. I'm going to say
You're
one.
standing south?
I am opposite wherever the wolf brawl
so
is
he
from
is
this.
he is southeast.
Okay.
So we'll just count that as I think south. So
Or southeast. If he goes south or east, I got him. If he goes north or west, I can't
Yeah.
do shit.
all right. So let's see. All right. He stumbles north. So he stumbles out towards the brawl. Just again clacking his jaw, being like, "You need to help us fight, you idiots! Fuck!"
Something,
He's got those cocaine teeth.
something about the lockjaw
Wow.
is just viscerally discomforting to me.
Correct.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
that is the idea.
bad.
Top of the round, Echo. One has escaped your moonbeam. One
One's
remains.
still in it though. How far away is guy who escaped? I'm behind the racks.
He would have moved as far from the moonbeam as he could, so he would be 30 feet from the moonbeam.
30 feet from the moonbeam and away from me.
Yes. He's pretty much at the wolf brawl, imploring them to help. Badly. Through a weird jaw.
Minor illusion. I'll kill you.
I think it's probably time to get a little bit more stabby.
Ooh.
So I'd like to move 30 feet closer to that guy. So I guess towards the moonbeam is where I'm going.
Okay.
And I'll throw my dagger
'Kay.
at him, the phase dagger.
Nice.
And see, just try to like, just really annoyed that like he left the moonbeam.
Sure.
Like, how dare you?
Go for it.
And how far away is he now? If I've gone 30 feet.
You moved 30 feet closer.
Yeah.
But you were very far away, so you moved 30 feet
Yeah.
closer. He is...
This might be throwing at disadvantage.
Yeah, I think you're throwing disadvantage.
I'll use an inspiration just to negate the disadvantage if that's okay. That's not great.
I just saw how many inspirations you have.
16.
16 to hit the wolf. That
Yeah.
might actually do it.
Because he was dressed up for repair duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit.
This is so little damage, but like Echo's very annoyed. It's like 6. It's just like 6 piercing damage, like,
Take that.
and then the dagger appears in her hand again because it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Get ready for round 2.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Cool. He's just like, ow, 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 ow. Just like a Star Fox character, just jaw wagging. All right, Quinny.
I'm going to continue to skulk about on those crates up on that highest shelf and hold action for an Eldritch Blast to basically push anyone who runs by the moonbeam but not through it, push them into it. Okay. With the repelling blast. So I'm just holding and locking in some power in my fist. and
Getting
just-
them into the moonbeam, into the Forsaken.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Let's roll for the wolf combat. Oh my god. All right, they're still at it.
Beautiful.
Just
Man,
like,
that's brilliant.
yeah, they're just snarling and
I'm out of spell
fighting.
slots. I'm not out of options.
Yep,
I mean, they were described as super aggressive and kind of dumb, so
correct.
Checks out.
Yep.
Maybe they'll kill each other before
They were also
Yeah.
assigned to guard duty after all the traps. So it's like, these are not your A-list guards. These are like, I don't know, can you watch this corner for the night? You can? Thumbs up.
Yeah, remember the wolves that fought to the death tactically were behind us.
Yeah. So Forsaken, you're up.
Okay, I got guy in moonbeam. I'm not going in there. I got 4 people fighting each other. awesome. And then there's this other running one in the middle. So he just wants to loop around the moonbeam if he can get to that guy.
Yep.
Great. Then he's just coming in with hammers from behind, attacking a running werewolf.
You've just seen a dagger fly at him, hit him, and then disappear.
He holds for a second because he doesn't want to break the dagger, and then it teleports out. And he goes, "Yes, plans within plans," and he lashes out. Oh, I'm going to use a Goblin Junior advantage from Captain Puppy.
Tom, I don't know what name you decided on for this arc, but I'm gonna pitch Plans Within Plans, Baldur's Gate edition.
It's a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that will do 8 regular damage with a silvered weapon, plus another 10 radiant damage from the smoking power of atheism.
Down he goes.
Yes. Who's your alpha now? The Forsaken says down at his corpse.
Jaw just continues to clack twice and then goes silent.
Yes, it's me.
All right. So with that, I think tactically I'm gonna call it because with three of you, with like the people who are actively in combat, the people who could fight you are dead. So the moonbeam slowly burns Pasteman to death, and then I think by the time like the bloodied wolves look up, there's just a wall of moonbeam and eldritch blasts.
We just drive the moonbeam over them, and the three of us follow. Just
anyone who runs out just gets fucking hammered back into it. And after a matter of unpleasant minutes, the combatants inside are dead.
Which means it's time for an important question, friends.
What's that?
Do you want to talk to that dead guy?
Can we do that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, hell yeah. Yeah, let's figure out what's going on here before we go any further. Get some intel.
He just walks over to the tiefling. You think your soul goes to the gods? There are no gods, friend. You answer to me. Then he reaches down and grabs the corpse by the throat and pulls his soul up as he casts Speak with Dead unknowingly.
Oh my God.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Dragonfly, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Beef Not Cheese, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Adam, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.